Broncos country, Bo Nix has the chance to make some history, put himself in the category or the conversation with some really, really good quarterbacks. We'll get down to it here in just a minute. But y'all leave me your score predictions, keys to the game in the comments. I'm going live here, but we'll also read the comments on the replay. Happy to be here, guys. So let's go ahead and get started, Broncos country. If you haven't seen this on Twitter, wanted to bring this up, but credit to MLF football or ML football saying, stud. Broncos quarterback Bo Nix can become the third rookie quarterback in NFL history with at least 250 passing yards in 4 consecutive games. He can join Justin Herbert and CJ Stroud. That's what I'm talking about. We've seen him take an insane jump in terms of his development over this season. And the Colts, it's going to be a great opportunity after the bye week to continue to build on that. Does Bo Nix have another level of play within him to reach his rookie year? I think so. I think he can be better. And that's what's crazy about it all. But I wanted to point out before I get into our keys to the game, Sire's comment here from Locked On Broncos. It cracked me up. But what about the depth of each target? What is the EPA per dropback? That's right. Yeah, I was like, yeah, if doesn't count if the EPA doesn't look like, right? Yeah, there's always this extra measuring stick for Bo Nix. I don't know if it's because he was the 12th pick of the draft or something like this, but nonetheless, the entire rookie quarterback class this year is really, really strong. It's going to be one of the best that I think we've had in a really long time. And so let's go ahead and get into my keys to victory. How you doing, David Manning? Thank you so much for tuning in. Really does mean a lot to have y'all watching. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with this tab over here. We'll get into this first key to the game. This is right here. No Javonte to start, guys. I think that when you look at Sean Payton's comments about the running game yesterday in the press conference, it sounds like to me we're going to be seeing some more Jaleel McLaughlin. We're going to be seeing some more Audric Estime. Honestly, it shocks me right now that Javonte Williams is even averaging right now at 3.6 yards per carry, but our offensive line is better than that. We should be getting well over 4 yards a carry, which is what both Jaleel McLaughlin at 4.6 and Audric Estime at 4.7 are putting out there with the same offensive line. And so as much as I love Javonte, he's a great locker room guy. He's solid in pass protection. Right now, over the last few games, he has handcuffed this offense getting started, getting rolling. And so, yeah, maybe you still have him designated as that third down back regardless, but let's see what Jaleel McLaughlin can do getting the start. Let's see what Audric Estime can get going given the start. And if we develop a really solid run game, that's going to help us against the Colts. Now, the Colts rushing defense on the year is actually one of the worst in the NFL, which is really surprising given the fact that, they're the Colts. They're the Colts. They're usually good at playing defense, right? One of the worst total defenses in the NFL right now, essentially giving up 380 yards per game. You see there with the rushing, they're giving up almost 150 yards a game. I don't think we'll reach 150 yards, maybe unless Bo Nix, turns into Josh Allen and is running a whole bunch in this game. But I would love to see us hit well over 100 yards on the ground and hopefully eclipse, that 22.9 points per game. We're averaging over 23 right now, which is the highest our team has averaged in points per game since like 2014. Insane. So key to the game right now, get the run game going. None of that's rocket science, but would love to see us emphasize that early on, as well as emphasizing, guys, our number one receiver right now, Courtland Sutton. Let's continue to feed him the rock. Having a career year right now. It's been great. By the way, guys, Garrett Bolles' extension is super, super cap friendly. My friend Marky Sports put a video out on that today, but we'll get into that at the end if I have some time. But his cap hit's super low. It's a super team friendly deal moving forward. We're going to have more money to spend than I thought. And that should make, I think, signing Courtland Sutton for the next couple years as that wide receiver 2 at a team-friendly number, I think that's going to happen. And so Courtland Sutton's continuing to be very reliable. I think he'll eclipse his 1,100 yards that he had, I think, in his second year in the league. But let's continue to feature him and Devon Vele in the passing game. Now, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what we need to do on the defensive side of the ball for us to shut down the Colts, okay? Right now, Anthony Richardson, he's fun. I'm an Anthony Richardson believer. We all knew that he was raw coming into the NFL, though. He's going to need some time. It was great to see him learn and I think mature from that benching that he had a few weeks ago. And I think he's been playing better football. But the real threat on this Colts team is not Anthony Richardson. The priority needs to be Jonathan Taylor. No doubt about it. He is their best, most dependable weapon. 804 yards so far in the year, so he will eclipse 1,000 yards again unless something crazy happens. 5 touchdowns. It's important for us to really stop the run, and we have one of the best run defenses in the NFL. We're giving up 94.7 yards per game against the run. That's 6th. I think that's 6th in the NFL right now. So really, really good. And do you load up the box? That's the one thing that I am wondering is if we do see, PJ Locke or Brandon Jones playing a little bit closer to the line in this game to emphasize us stopping the run. Because Anthony Richardson, as you see right there, completing 47% of his passes on the year. I think we're going to play a lot of one-on-one coverage still. I don't see Vance Joseph switching it up too much. Maybe we see, some more zone coverage to see if Anthony Richardson can fit the ball in some of those tight windows. I don't, I wouldn't be opposed to that, but that's kind of not how we've played most of the time. I feel like we play a little bit more man coverage than we do zone, right? About 2/3 of the time, if I remember correctly. So that's going to be a key. But at the end of the day, we want to get a lead. We want to stop their run attack and make Anthony Richardson a passer. No doubt about it. Now, you guys know Levi Wallace got torched, had his worst game of his career. That's what he said against the Cleveland Browns. And we all saw that. I mean, getting torched by Jerry Jeudy, man, that was rough. And credit to the Browns, man, for moving him off of Pat Surtain often and getting ideal matchups. But the Indianapolis Colts, they have a really nice receiving core. They got 4 really good wide receivers and a really talented tight end in Mo Alley Cox. He's not like an all-star or a Pro Bowler guy, but don't be mistaken, guys. He would no doubt be the number 1 tight end on this roster. But Alec Pierce leading their team in receiving, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman Jr., is their alpha, Adonai Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell from Texas, really talented as well. So they have some different guys, some of the speedier, shiftier guys. They have, those traditional big-bodied X wide receivers that also got some speed to them. And it's going to be important for us to shut down guys like Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. And so I think that this is the year or the game that we see Chris Abrams drain. I think that he played really well at the end of that Browns game on that final drive. He's really the only draft pick outside of Nick Argiulo, who's on the practice squad, that we haven't seen so far this year. This has been a really productive draft class for us, and I'm anxious to see what he can do. I think he can cover. Without Riley Moss, that's going to be tough, but we need Jaquan McMillan. We need Chris Abrams-Drain to step up, and hopefully with the bye week, we will have gotten rid of any of the miscommunication that we saw often in the secondary throughout that Browns game. But guys, I think we're still going to see plenty of Levi Wallace out there. I just hope that we see less. But they usually go with the veterans. That's just how it goes. But let's continue to see what Chris Abrams-Drain can do. Maybe if Levi Wallace struggles early on again, you see a little bit shorter of a leash and Chris Abrams-Drain put in there. That's kind of how I feel like it's going to go. And lastly, guys, let's let's realize our destiny. This team is built different than the other teams we've had in recent past. This is our best team that we've seen since 2016, 2015, right? This is our time to go to 9-5, to really seal the deal on a wild card playoff appearance. First time since 2015. There's only one team that has a longer playoff drought than we do right now. It's the New York Jets, guys. Man, we gotta move ourselves away from those guys, right? So that's my key to the game, is us to come in focused and play aggressive. We haven't played our best football over the last 2 games, but we've still won with impressive margin in both of those after the bye week. The Colts are coming off of a bye week too, but they got to travel out here. Let's go get this victory. Let's do it in dominating fashion and get ready to play the Chargers on Thursday night. So let's get to 9-5, then let's get to 10-5, and continue to move our way up in the wild card rankings. So I'll get to your guys' comments here in just a minute, but let me go ahead and pull up the cap number for Garrett Bolles. I think you guys will be really interested in this. Really great contract details. So let me pull it up here. This is better than what I thought. So how he signed 4-year, $82 million, about 41 guaranteed. But if you can kind of see right here how it's structured, is that we have a ton of void years on here. So I think it was about 23, 24 guaranteed at signing. Yeah, a little under 24 million guaranteed at signing. So if we ever do need to kind of push some of that signing bonus out, like restructure him, we should be able to do that into the void years if we continue on with him. But essentially, this is a 2-year extension. There should be, a significant out here after 2026. As you can see, there's only like $1 million or so in dead money, 1.6 if we were to cut him after 2027. Then we can kind of move out that cap number if needed. But I think that Garrett Bolles is going to continue to play really, really well, and you could probably see a restructure happen at some point. As you know, a lot of left tackles are playing really well into their mid-30s, and so that very well could be the case here with Garrett Bolles, in future Ring of Famer, which is awesome. But guys, look at this. Right now, his cap hit for next year is going to be $5.8 million. That's significant. In 2026, it's going to be under $10 million. Now it balloons to, just under 30 million for a couple. But again, guys, you're going to see tackles very quickly start to make over that $30 million range very, very quickly. I don't think that this cap number is going to be nearly as concerning as it might look right now, especially with the void years attached and, us getting off of that Russell Wilson. We're going to have plenty of cap money to spend, like no doubt about it. And yeah, if you want to look at like the cap space that we have right now, it should be, I think, around $55 million. If we cut Alex Singleton, that puts us well into the 60s, which I would be okay with. And, I think we should re-sign Cody Barton, DJ Jones right now. The pending free agents to hit unrestricted free agency at nose tackle and inside linebacker position. From what I've seen, there really isn't anybody better than those two right now. So let's bring both of those guys back and then, bring in some more weapons on offense, maybe another really solid corner, safety. Not really sure, but guys, we're going to have plenty of money to spend even with this Garrett Bolles extension. And that's why I'm a fan of bringing back Courtland Sutton as well. When you're going to have over $60, $70 million, maybe depending on some of the other moves we make in free agency, let's bring back Cody Barton, DJ Jones for a little bit. Let's bring back Courtland Sutton and then truly be able to develop a pipeline of solid depth with this draft all throughout the roster. So thank you guys so much for listening. I will get to some of your comments here before I wrap this thing up. Again, thank you guys so much. Broncos score prediction. Man, I don't know. Let me take a look at the line. Give me Broncos by 10. That's usually kind of what I try and go with. So yeah. Dave Manning says, time to move on from Javonte, give the other guys more time and rest, and see what they can do. I would love to see that. And again, Dave, if we're wanting to strike fear in opponents in the playoffs, right now Javonte is not getting it done in the run game. And so let's see what Jaleel and Audric can do. Maybe Blake Watson as well. Those guys have more athleticism right now. It's a shame, that he tore up his knee severely, but he's just not the player he was before the injury, sadly. Yeah, let's see a big game from Cody Barton right now, D-Rock. No doubt about it. Smash that like for Cody Barton, y'all. He's in a contract year, obviously, and I think he's due for a nice little pay raise. Ducky, is Chris Abrams drained starting? I don't think so. I haven't seen any reports there. I would imagine right now, not that I agree with it, but this is just what I think is going to happen, is that Levi Wallace does get the start, but is held on a pretty short leash. So we'll have to see. I do want to see more Chris Abrams drain, and I think that, again, maybe guarding a guy like Josh Downs or Alec Pierce, these guys are. I could see them just frying Levi Wallace. So hopefully we're a little bit more intentional with the personnel we're running out this year. D-Rock coming in here. I'm not sure if Indy's heard of Zach Allen, but I have a strong inclination they will be very familiar with him at the end. Yes. We need a big game from him. Let me go ahead and pull up the injury report, because there are some notable injuries from the Colts side that could impact the game as well. Sorry, I forgot to bring this up at the beginning, but their offensive line, it's kind of in a little bit of a transition right now. Again, I think Brandon Jones is going to play. We'll see about Tremont Smith dealing with something personal. Riley Moss is out. I'm sure you guys know that now. But Mo Alley Cox, okay, he's actually questionable. So he has not practiced all week, so maybe we catch a break there. Now, Tanner Bortolini, he has been their starting center right now because Ryan Kelly, their starter before the season and impending free agent, has been out with a knee injury, but he's been limited this week. So is Bortolini going to be okay from that concussion? Looks like it. Past protocol, he's been full participant this week. So I would imagine that he's going to be the starter this week. Maybe Ryan Kelly flips it next week. I think we will see Josh Downs, DeForest Buckner. He will be playing. So our offensive line, man, they're really going to have to bring it. Michael Pittman, I've expected him to play. Now, Braden Smith, I believe their right tackle, he is out. So due to some sort of personal matter, I hope everything's okay with him and his family. But this is going to be an opportunity for Nick Bonito, Jonathan Cooper, Ellis and company to eat in the pass rush. And Anthony Richardson can make a ton of plays. Now, he's not the fastest guy. He's not Lamar Jackson out there. I don't think he's as fast as Josh Allen, but still has plenty of speed. We'll need our edges to play fairly disciplined. And that's the thing. Like, let's make sure that we're not allowing him to make huge plays with his legs. I will take my chances with Anthony Richardson right now and his 48% completion percentage with his arm. I will just take that all day. So they added a cornerback to the team for the game tomorrow. David, are we talking about the Colts? I believe the Colts did bring up one of their corners from the practice squad. So, we'll see how that goes. I very much look forward to seeing Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, the rest of these guys perform. And again, credit to Kerry Colbert. This was a guy I was calling for him to be moved on from at the end of or halfway through the year, at the end of the season this year. And we're finally seeing better effort from our wide receivers over the last month. I think we're seeing good development, a lot less, concentration drops and weird things like that. Can Troy Franklin and Bo Nix connect on a long ball finally this week? We'll have to see. But guys, over the last day, I've been really diving into a lot of the draft stuff. I am so excited for this draft for the Broncos. I cannot wait until draft season. Cannot wait. It's going to be a significant draft. And again, credit to George Paton, Sean Payton. Looking back at that 21 draft class, I know that some people have brought this up on Twitter. It's great. Jonathan Cooper, extended edge. We got Quinn Miners, all-pro guard, extended. We got Pat Surtain, best corner in the league, all-pro, extended. And so when you're able to draft 3 guys, all extended, 2 at premium positions, 1 might be the best guard in the NFL or one of them. That's A+. 2022, man, I'm not sure. 2023, we'll see how it all shakes out. But Riley Moss is looking much better now, which is great. But the 2024 draft class, I think, is looking very, very substantial. 2022, I guess that had Nick Bonito in there as well. So or was it 2023? I'm trying to remember, guys. Forget me. Forget what I'm saying. William, did they say if Abrams Drain is starting or what? Nope. No official word, and that's kind of typical Sean Payton, Bill Belichickian type of things, keeping your cards close to the chest or the vest. What's the saying? So, yeah, I do see him playing more, though. I mean, I thought he played really well in the few snaps that he got against Cleveland. I would like to see him start. Right now, I just don't know if that's going to be the case. I feel like they're going to give Levi Wallace one more shot. That's just my intuition, not based on any information that I've read or anything like that. So, we added a corner for the game. Well, let me look this up on Twitter. Thank you so much, Dave. Let me take a look at this. We'll find this out together. Oh, okay. We've elevated Reese Taylor and Nick Gargiulo. Okay, awesome. Reese Taylor, he's been on the practice squad throughout the whole year, I believe. So maybe you will see Levi Wallace inactive. Maybe you will see Levi Wallace inactive this game. So some information on him. I'll read this here. Taylor is a first-year player who signed with the Broncos practice squad last year in 2023, then competed with the Broncos again ahead of the 24 season. He spent this year on the Broncos practice squad, but has not been elevated yet for a game. He's not appeared in a regular season game yet. Gargiulo, 7th-round pick this year, has been elevated for each of the last 2 games, but has been among the Broncos' inactive players. The South Carolina product has also spent the entire season with the Broncos practice squad. So that's really interesting. I wonder what's going to be happening with Forsyth as well. Let me take a look at Reese Taylor here on PFF. Let's go ahead and take a look here. Just get some more information about him when he was in college. And hold up. All right, 5'11", 188 pounds. Where did he play in college? Okay, he was at Purdue. Looks like a decent tackler, 38 total tackles his final year. Was at Indiana prior to that, 3 career interceptions. Okay. I mean, granted, this was a little bit out, in 2022, but Big Ten guy. So, hey, drafted or was originally signed by Kansas City, and then he's been with the Broncos over the last 2 years. So I can't wait to see how he turns out. And then, of course, Nick Gargiulo, South Carolina. He came from Yale, though, if I remember correctly. 7th-round pick. Remember, he's got the stash. He's looking great. Got a lot of versatility. Played guard, played center at South Carolina, and then before that, even played left tackle. Now he's not a left tackle in the NFL. No way. But center, interior guard. We'll see what can come from him. Yeah, 6'5", 327 pounds. Has a great body. I mean, what Wattenberg is around the same size. I think Forsyth's a little bit lighter than these guys, so that's something to keep in mind. Wattenberg from Washington. Oh, I guess he's 6'5", 300 pounds. I thought he was a little bit bigger by now, but it is what it is. Yeah, I think he's having a good year right now. You want to see him continue to develop. So, all right. Thank you for that, David. Hey, credit to Gage for keeping us up to date. Y'all be sure to follow him over at Broncos Syndicate on YouTube. I think they just passed 4,000 subs or on their way, so congrats to him. He does a great job. Yeah, anyone's got to be better than Wallace. I agree. So they added a brand new corner and are playing him in a new scheme that doesn't even make sense. I think William, this is the first time that he's going to be active, but he has been with the Broncos for close to 2 years now, or like a season and a half. So, yeah, he has been on the practice squad. We're not just picking him up from the street. So that is that's great to have him added in on some depth. And this also could be the case, William, with Reese Taylor, if Tremont Smith, he's a cornerback, but he's mainly a special teams player for us. If he doesn't go this week, maybe Reese Taylor being elevated is more of a special teams type of addition. Might not speak directly to Levi Wallace. Again, we'll see what the inactives are tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, I don't know. Could mean special teams, could mean Levi Wallace. I'm not really sure. It'll be fun to find out, though. Plain old me says it's so important for Denver to keep the Colts under control and not letting them have that great game against us. Yeah. I mean, what did we see against the Raiders? I felt like Gardner Minshew was still playing well, putting up points against us. We saw Jameis Winston have the most Jameis Winston game ever against us. Thank God we were still able to bait him into some turnovers. Shout out to Nick Benito on that pick six he had, by the way, dropping down in coverage. I think he was covering 3 guys on that play, and just anticipated that perfectly. So let's be sure to win the turnover battle. Again, all my keys to the game, none of this is rocket science, but I do love to come on here and talk about it. Get a new starting running back this week, feed Cortland Sutton, stop Jonathan Taylor, turn Anthony Richardson into a passer. Again, 48% completion percentage. Ooh. Let's see a little bit more Chris Abrams-Jane rather than Levi Wallace. But at the end of the day, let's put together our best, most complete performance that we've had in a month and go out and seize our destiny, seize the day, Broncos country, right? So I cannot wait. I'm really looking forward to this game. Ronnie's saying, yeah, hope Jaleel breaks out in this game. Get him involved in those wide zone runs. Yes. We need a running back that can take advantage of the holes that are opening up, so bad. And, Javante, I think, or Jaleel rather, I think right now he's got to make a strong case for us not drafting 2 running backs in this draft. That's kind of how pumped I am about this running back draft class. And it's very deep. It's very deep. It's very good. There's a handful of guys that I would be pumped about, and some guys I feel like that could fill that Jaleel McLaughlin role. and him and Blake Watson. We'll see if Blake Watson's ever able to get some snaps, right? But yeah, Jalil's got a lot to play for right now. Of course, Javonte does as well. And guys, like, this is how shallow the running back class is this year in free agency, is that it's basically Aaron Jones and then a bunch of other guys like Jaleel McLaughlin. I don't really see us signing a running back in free agency this year. It would have been last year. Last year would have been the year to do it right, with Saquon and Derrick Henry and all these guys just owning it. Joe Mixon, I know he's been a little bit banged up, but last year was the year to go get an experienced, proven running back. You're not going to get it right now in this year's free agency class. And so that's why I think you draft one. We'll see what we do at the wide receiver position. Again, I think that right now, tight end needs to be a huge priority in terms of signing Juwan Johnson, who probably will command over $10 million a year. That's my theory, but we can afford that. Again, we'll have like $60 million to play with, even with this Garrett Bolles signing. So we go sign Juwan Johnson. We go and draft another tight end or two. Hopefully we can get the guy from Penn State or the guy from Loveland from Michigan early on. But if not, there's some other really great talented tight ends in the mid rounds that I think we could go after. The guy from Bowling Green's kind of intriguing, but I think he's a little raw. Of course, you got the guy from Oregon that was Bo Nix's security blanket. Why am I forgetting all these guys' names? I've been like looking at them all morning long, but yeah. You don't want Juwan Johnson? How about Zach Ertz, Neil? If we're drafting a guy high and also pairing him with a veteran tight end like Zach Ertz. I know that Zach Ertz has liked to kind of stick around with Cliff Kingsbury. I know that, but I still think Zach Ertz is playing really good football. I know he's 34 years old right now, but the dude is proven. So those are some of the guys that I like. Like Mo Alley Cox is a free agent as well. We can take a look at it right now, actually, if you guys are curious, and then I'll let y'all go. Free agents. Let's take a look. So you don't want Juwan Johnson. And I understand he's not the most dynamic guy, but I think he's definitely an upgrade over who we have. But would you pay that money? I understand not wanting to. Yeah, there's a lot to just be desired in this class. So Tyler Conklin, I mean, I guess. Would you rather have Tyler Conklin or Juwan Johnson? I think I would rather have Juwan Johnson, but Tyler Conklin, he's had some good years. Mo Alley Cox, I think I would rather pass on him. Same with Harrison Bryant, Pharaoh Brown, Austin Hooper. Like, I guess those guys could be like a tier 2 tight end. And yeah, maybe we're bringing in somebody with high draft capital that can kind of be paired with one of these veterans, Austin Hooper, Zach Ertz, Mike Gesicki, and all that. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Really do appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'll be actually, I might have to miss my post game tomorrow due to an arrangement outside of YouTube. So we'll see. But guys, thank you so much. Go Broncos.